Okay, this week on the blog, I've been talking a lot about morning routines, and I actually shared the morning routines of 14 mothers just to help inspire anybody out there who might be looking to want to improve their morning routine or change up their morning routine. And I thought it might be helpful if I shared a little bit about how I really fine-tuned my morning routine and ended up starting to wake up super early. So I wake up at 4 a.m. pretty much every morning. But I just started doing this probably about a month ago. So it's not something I've always done. But it's something that I have started doing to help accomplish some of the goals that I have. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I want to share today how I got to that point and how I started making time for myself in the morning. So I think one of the biggest complaints I hear mothers make is that they have a hard time getting up before their kids. They have a hard time making time for themselves in the morning. And I think we can all agree that our mornings go so much better when we have just a little bit of that time to ourselves. I know that personally on the mornings when my kids wake up with me or when my kids wake me up, those are the mornings when I already step out of bed feeling like I'm one step behind. I don't have time to really get my bearings before they're demanding stuff of me. So those are the mornings where I end up being much more impatient with my kids. I feel disappointed in myself that I couldn't get out of bed before my kids, and I take that out on other situations. So those are, when the mornings start out like that, the day usually doesn't go that well. And I've just through experience, I've realized that when I can make my time for myself in the morning, the day goes so much better. I feel so much better about myself and what I've accomplished, but then that spills over to being more patient with my kids, to just being in a better mood and having a better attitude. But it took me a long time to get there. I knew for the longest time that I should be getting out of bed earlier and that I should be taking time for myself in the morning, because when that didn't happen, the whole day would just run away from me. But I didn't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to start to wake up at 4 a.m. so that I have time to write. It took me a while to get there. And I would say that one of the biggest reasons for me starting to really commit to my time in the morning was that I was sick of my own excuses. I was sick of the disappointment in myself. I was sick of the frustration when I would lose that time in the morning. Those emotions and feeling those every day and thinking, oh, I should have just got up earlier, or I need to get up earlier tomorrow morning. I just got sick of having those emotions and having those thoughts. It's like I was sick of myself and the excuses. So when I got to that point, I decided that I was really going to commit to making my morning routine something that was sacred to me, and something that I would use that time to get stuff done that meant something to me also. It wasn't that I was going to use that time to clean the house or to do something for my kids. It was going to be time for myself. So when I really got serious with myself and realizing I did not want to, I was sick of those emotions, and I was sick of having a horrible morning with my kids because I was struggling to wake up before them. So when I figured out that that was something that I didn't want to live with anymore, it was just taking up too much emotional brain space, even though it was just my morning routine, it had a big impact on my day. That's when I started getting really serious with what I wanted to do in the morning. And that meant that I had to pick something that was really interesting to me, or something that was going to motivate me to get out of bed. And about 2 years ago, I started waking up to read because I love reading, and that's something that I wasn't able to do a lot throughout the day with the kids. So I would make part of my morning routine to read, and that was something that really motivated me to get out of bed and to have that time to myself. So I would do some reading. Now, I will say, a lot of those mornings I had little visitors with me, so I wasn't doing this on my own. A lot of those mornings, my son would come down also, and I had to train him to do his own thing in the morning, or to sit with me on the couch and cuddle. And that's a lot of times what he would end up doing. So I wouldn't be by myself the whole time. But once I found something that I really enjoyed and was special to me, and wasn't just something that I thought I should be doing, like I should be waking up and meditating, I should be waking up and doing exercise, I should be waking up and doing a devotional, or waking up and journaling. Not that there's anything wrong with any of those things, but they just weren't enough to motivate me to get out of bed. So when I found something like reading, that motivated me to get up early and have that time for myself. And even if it was just 20 minutes to reading, and then I had to then get up and attend to my kids, it was just enough to kind of start that day at the slow pace that it made me feel much more like I was much more organized and much more in control of the day, and it was very less chaotic in the morning. So fast forward about a year, and I decided that I wanted to start this blog and I wanted to start writing. And I knew that I was the most creative in the morning, and I knew that I was going to have to really carve out the time if this was something that I really seriously wanted to do for myself. So that's when I started to really change up my morning routine even more, and I started waking up even earlier. So that's when I started waking up at 4 a.m. Now, I will say one of the things that has helped me to wake up at 4 a.m. is because I made a public announcement over social media that I wanted to write for an hour every day this year. So that's 365 days. Every day of 2020, I wanted to get in at least 1 hour of writing. So making that announcement over social media, even if nobody read it or nobody remembers it, to me was enough to want to complete this goal. So having some accountability, even if there's not one person out there, but knowing that I made that goal for myself and that I made that public, I told other people about it, has helped me to wake up at 4 a.m. to get that writing in. Because I know if I don't do that first thing in the morning, it's going to be something that I'm going to probably not achieve because I'm not going to spend the time later in the day, or my brain is just fried and I don't want to sit down to a computer and write. So knowing that I have that goal for myself, if I make that the first thing I do in the morning, I get it done and out of the way. It feels so good. So that's helped me, is having a goal that I was really interested in and I wanted to achieve. That's helped me with waking up super early. The other thing too that's helped to hold me accountable is on my Instagram stories, I always share a picture and what day it is of writing. So knowing that I'm doing that every day to hold myself accountable to my goal of writing has really helped me also to make sure that I'm getting that in. Once again, even if nobody sees it, still for myself, it means something. I feel like it's a commitment that I don't want to let myself or anybody else down. So having that public accountability has really helped. But I also say that I thoroughly enjoy writing, and it feels really like I've really accomplished something when I'm done, and I love to start my morning out with that feeling also. So I'm kind of addicted to having that feeling, and that's what gets me out of bed also. And then building on, so just to go through my morning routine a little bit, I usually wake up around 4 a.m. I'm usually at my computer by 4:15. I drink some water, grab my cup of coffee, and I'm in front of my computer at 4:15. And then I work, write for an hour, and then after that, usually I'll do 20 minutes of exercise or something like that. And at this point, my kids are awake, so when I'm done with the exercise, I make them breakfast, and I go through my morning routine with them, which is getting them breakfast, unloading the dishwasher, making lunches, taking my vitamins. Our dog needs medication, making sure the dog has medication, and then it's my turn to shower. So I get, the important stuff that means a lot to me done early at 4 a.m. And I think time-wise, it just works out. Even with waking up at 4 a.m., I'm still pretty much getting ready and out the door right when I need to be. It's not like I have a ton of time, but at least I know I got some of my important tasks out of the way. So I just wanted to share this message because it's not something that I sprung out of bed one day and I said, I'm going to start waking up at 4 a.m. It was a slow progress. It was something I had to really find something that motivated me. But the pain of not doing it and knowing how I was taking out my frustrations with not having a calm morning, and not having that time to myself in the morning, when I was taking those frustrations out on my family and really beating myself up over it, really being ready to let go of that and not wanting to deal with that and just committing to something that I enjoyed is what really helped get my morning routine, really helped it to be something that I really enjoyed and I looked forward to. I was going to say something else and I completely forgot. Let's see. Well, I think this is what I was going to say. My morning routine has become, as I'm sure you can tell, very sacred to me, and it's something that I even try to implement on the weekends because I just find that my days go so much better. I am so much more productive when I start the day off holding that commitment to myself. That to me, like, I'm slowly building the confidence that when I make the choice for myself every morning, and that's something that I committed to, I say the night before I'm going to do it, and I wake up and I do it, it's building that I have that trust in myself that I'm going to get things done. And that just sends me on a trajectory for the rest of the day to make sure that I get the stuff done that I commit to. So really getting my morning routine down has been such a game changer in how productive I am, in how I feel about myself, and how I am as a mother. Now, I will say that waking up at 4 a.m. Means that you most likely have to forgo that time at night. So I am in bed. I try to be in bed by 8 o'clock, and I try to be in bed with the lights off by 9. So I have to hold my evening routine is very sacred too, because that's what allows me to have my morning routine. If I do not get the sleep that I need, I am miserable. So that's not going to help anybody. So you might have to lose that late night time to yourself in order to have that time in the morning. But if you give yourself a chance and really test it out for a while, you'll realize that you weren't really missing those last few hours in front of the TV or scrolling social media. You will be so happy with the way that your mornings are going that that's going to seem like a small price to pay. So that is how I took the steps to wake up super early so that I could have a morning routine that made me energized, that made me feel ready to start the day, that was motivating to me. So if you are struggling to start your day off right and you feel like it's always chaotic and you need to make that time for yourself, but you just can't make it happen, keep thinking about that and how you want that to happen for you and what you want your mornings to look like. And eventually you will take that step, because you're going to be so sick of feeling like you want your mornings to be better, but they're not. And you're going to be so sick of knowing how frustrated you are when your days start out on the wrong foot, and how much better things can be when you have just that time for yourself in the morning. And eventually you will probably get sick of it too for yourself, and you'll want better. And that's when you'll start taking the steps to make your morning routine something that's more sacred to you. That's when you'll start to find something that you really enjoy to do in the morning. So if you are struggling, I suggest that you even just start there. Think about something that you can do for 15 minutes in the morning just for yourself that's going to excite you enough to get out of bed. And it may not be what everybody else says it may be. So you have to find something that's exciting and something that you really enjoy. So that's about it. That's how I wake up at 4 a.m. and why that is so important to me and how I made that happen for myself. So if you have any tips of how you've created a great morning routine for yourself, or if you just want to share what time you wake up in the morning, you can leave it in the comments below. Thanks, and have a great weekend.